Greetings to the 12 tribes of Israel, scattered, dispersed, but not destroyed. It's me again, your boy Yemi'el Ben Yehuda, one of the elders, teachers, and more here at the Truth. We give all praise to the Most High Yah and thank Him for allowing us to enjoy another year, Day of Atonement, another week, another beginning of a day of rest. It again. About now, and we want to give all praise to the Father, thanking Him for everything that He has done for us. And we just gonna invite you or welcome you for today's class. We have been in the book of Nehemiah. We're in Nehemiah chapter 4. We started on last week with the reading of the book, and we had just started breaking down each verse of that book of chapter 4. When we you're still doing it. It's delayed, but is it clear? Yeah, that's my wife. She's trying to help me sound right. Okay, I think I'm back. I'm back. Okay, is it clear now? Okay, but here comes my wife. But some things I wanted to touch base on. Continuing. Okay, it's a little bit delayed. Oh, I can hear it now. Okay, hold on. It does better once Joseph comes on. Hold on. I don't know what it is. Okay, what about now? It's my case, y'all, that's been doing this. But yeah, so I still want y'all to understand when Nehemiah, Ezra, and the rest of Judah were coming out of the Mead Persian captivity, they went into captivity. The Babylonians into a war with the Medes and the Persians, and King Darius took over. They released them, and they were allowed to come back into Jerusalem to start the rebuilding of the city. Well, it was decided by the men that they would start by repurposing or rebuilding, refortifying the wall. This is very important because before you start doing any kind of city projects, you want there to be in that day and era, you needed protection. So you needed firm walls, and so that was the goal. They wanted to go in, build the walls back up, refortify the walls. And so each family was there was a census taken, and each family was represented. And each family had a portion of the wall that they needed to build, and including the priest. Nehemiah made it very clear earlier in the building that regardless of what we're doing, we're still going to observe the feast. We're going to still observe the Sabbaths. We're going to still keep law. But you got to understand, they did not. They were estranged from Torah. So as they built, they started to learn. And this is very important for us to understand. It was a foreshadowing of this very captivity that we're in right now. Y'all, I want y'all to understand, and I keep trying to drive this point home. A lot of us are coming into the knowledge of truth. We're starting to understand that we are the people that were spoken of in the book. We're starting to understand that it's time for us to get out of these other religions, Islam, Buddhism, Christianity, and go back to Torah. Understand that what we have is not religion, it is faith. It is laws that we must keep. The thing about religion, you can do religion and there's really no penalty for your corruption or do wrong. It's based off of emotions and morality, but these our customs are built off of strict adherence to a law that was established before us. And I want to say in the very beginning of time. How can I say this? Because when Yah spoke to Adam, how did you know there was sin? We always say that Adam sinned against the Most High, but we know that sin is transgression of the law. And our Torah has been passed down from Adam to Seth, from Seth to his son, and further down. First, it was oral tradition. It was carried down by mouth. Why was it important? Because we had not built to the strength of a nation yet. And so we carried Torah down until we got to Moses. And Moses was responsible for putting the law on tablets, putting the law on parchment, and make sure that the law was given to the Levites to teach. This when we became a nation. We could no longer just pass the law down by mouth, father to son, each generation. We needed the law to be seen. We needed the statutes, laws, and commandments to be seen. That way and as a nation, we needed it to be seen so we would have something to galvanize ourselves to. These are the words of our Creator. These are words that our father Abraham kept. These are the laws and statutes that Abraham, Isaac, Isaac, and Yaakov kept. This is why it's important for us as we are waking up to who we are, and we turn back away from these demonic religions, back to the truth of who we are, and embrace Torah. And I'm not talking about the Talmud. That is a religious sect of our people that began in the Roman captivity, the Greeks and the Romans, with Pharisees and the Sadducees. There were no Pharisees during this time. And so, because we weren't infiltrated by the Idumeans. That was the word I was looking for. April, reach out to Joseph, or if Stefan's on here, reach out to Joseph for me. So I want y'all to understand, as we begin to grow in the understanding of who we are, we must turn back to the laws, the statutes, to the commandments, while building a wall to protect us, now not from our enemies from the outside, but from the enemies inside of our families, from our friends that we grew up with, because now they realize that you're not following their white Jesus, and they realize that you aren't walking according to the rules of T.D. Jakes and them. I'm sorry, I said it like that, but you ain't walking according to Philip, whatever that boy's name is, Philip Anderson Michaels, or whatever that dude's name is. all these other whack jobs that are running around. Now, you know what's funny? I used to talk about that dude that was in California. Big mustache. He looked like he could have been one of the workers. Uh, God, what's that dude's name? I used to talk about that old guy. Was Fred Joseph?
Yeah, you in and out. But go ahead.
California with the big
Fred Price.
Yeah, Fred Price. Since you're here, I'm gonna go out.
Okay. Can
Go
can you
out
can you
and
can
I'll
you hear
finish.
me okay? Can you hear me okay?
You're fine.
Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and pick up where you left off. Shabbat Shalom, family. Yourself in Israel with the RDFW. We are here this afternoon. Excuse me. I work nights, y'all, so my days and nights get flipped, and I'm constantly trying to figure out what day it is, except for the Shabbat. I know when the Shabbat is, but every other day I'm asking, well, what day is it? But but
Can you
anyway,
hear
having
me
said that, I can hear you. But anyway,
clear?
I was doing introduction. Yeah, yeah, we can hear you. Um, yeah, celebrating Yah on the Shabbat. And this is what I say to Christians. So y'all can learn how to communicate with Christians. They say, all that stuff is under the law. That's Sabbath. That's the law. No, that's from creation. That's from creation. From creation on the seventh day before Moses, before the Ten Commandments, before Moses, before all of that, from creation, beloved, from creation. This is how you speak to your Christian brothers and sisters, your Christian friends, your wife and your husband. From creation, he set and sanctified the Shabbat. He said this day is holy. He set the Shabbat apart from creation. And he ain't changed. Y'all excuse my English. He has not changed. And so we rejoice and we rest on the Shabbat because that's what our creator, our father, our Yah, our Elohim, that's what he did. And then in the Gospels, it talks about how Yeshua, it was his custom. That means that from the time he was a child, he observed the Shabbat.
You want to be Christ-like, but you don't want to do what Christ
You
did.
don't want to do what Christ did. So listen, when you're talking to Christians, drop the law for when we're talking about Shabbat. Don't talk about the law. Oh, what Paul said we no longer. See, well, you can skip. You can miss me on all that. You can miss us on all that because if from creation, the Father set and sanctified this day, and then Yeshua, as the Son of Man, during his sojourn on earth, his advent on earth, it was his custom to observe the Sabbath. And you won't find, you can go to the book of Acts in the New Testament, and you won't find a time. You can't find a time when they talked about we going to the Lord's house, or we gonna gather together on Sunday and have Sunday worship. They didn't do it. Paul didn't do it.
Not
Peter
even
didn't do it.
Paul.
James didn't do it. John didn't do it. None of them did it. But anyway, Yemi was talking about Fred Price. I want to throw this in with what Yemi was saying. See, Fred Price was just like everybody else until I may get the story flipped, but this is basically the story. One of his children, I'm not going to use a gender because I get it flipped. One of his children, I think it was his son. One of his children was dating or was courting or was dating one of the other pastors that was in in his network, the denomination. One of his sons started dating or courting one of the white pastors that was in the denomination. Now, whatever denomination he was in, he started dating the white pastor's daughter, and the white pastor threw a fit and said, "No, no, we're not gonna have this." And they got into there was a family fight. You know, when folks mess with when folks messing with your children or with your child, you got a problem. You know, and so when Fred Price got hit in the face with racism, and he thought he was in. He was one of the big pastors. He was one of the major players in the denomination that he came out of. And his son was started dating another young lady, one of the fellow pastors in the denomination, started dating, and they had a problem. And that whole scenario pushed Fred Price, punched him in the face, and let him know, hey, this is real. This is real. And that's when he went in. He went all the way in. He never identified as a Hebrew Israelite, but he did over the pulpit, and this is on record, that we are the so-called black, African American, Negro, colored, whatever you call us. This from Fred Price. We are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He did a whole big old series on race, religion, and it was a big series. And so yeah, Fred Price got hit in the face with it and found out what was what, who was who, and what was what, and he was somewhat awakened to the truth. And so it's only a matter of time before all of us, all of the Christians, they're gonna find out. They're gonna find out by the time they get through with this. Doing what they're gonna do with this project 2025, and they start making a difference between the evangelical, the white church, and the black church. These brothers gonna find out. They're gonna find out about they worship the white Jesus. I call them, not I'm gonna call them Christian, I'm calling them white Jesus, disciples of white Jesus.
Not of Yeshua HaMashiach,
No, of
but
white
of
Jesus, of that
Jesus.
image. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
they worship that image of Caesar Borgia and will give their lives up for it. And I'm glad that you said it, because Fred Price just straight up came out and said it, just like you said. Look, man, y'all, I've been giving some thought. The book started whooping me across my head, neck, and shoulder area. And now I just got to let y'all know we the people of the book. And there's a lot of pastors that have come out and said the quiet part out loud. But
They're starting to say the quiet part out loud, but some of them you know, we will train in homiletics and hermeneutics and vocabulary. They're not going to come all the way out and say it like that, but they preach it by allegory and illustration, and they'll hint at it. But listen, y'all, let me say this: when Fred Price did that series, he got excommunicated out of that denomination.
put out.
Put out. Put out. And this is what's keeping the pastors, and Yemi and I have had these conversations. This is what's keeping the pastors. They know. They know. You take them to Luke chapter 21, verse 24, and have them read it, and they know, but they can't come out and say it because they gotta feed their family. That's how they make their living.
Read it real quick.
Okay. I'm in Luke. Let me go back to 21. Matter of fact, y'all, when we've done this before, y'all, so we're gonna do this real quick. Then we get in near what Nehemiah where we need to be. Luke chapter 21, verse 24. And he's telling the disciples about what's going to happen in the last days. And he's talking about the fall of Jerusalem, the fall of Israel, the nation of Israel by the Romans. When the Romans were coming in 70 AD and they sacked Jerusalem. That means they overran it. And I'm going to read these words, and I need y'all to highlight this scripture and ask your Christian friends, who are these people? This is Jesus or Yeshua saying. Yeah, just ask them. Don't tell them, ask them.
Who are they talking
Who
about?
are these people? This is Yeshua. And if you got a King James Version, this is in red. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And
Come
guess
on.
what, y'all? Right now, we living in the time of the Gentiles. So if
And
we're living in the time of the Gentiles, who's in Israel right now?
the Gentiles.
And I ain't say it. Yeshua said it. And if they got a King James Bible with the red letter edition, it's in red. Don't try to tell them, ask them, who are these people that were led captive into all nations? Not into Eastern Europe, but all nations.
And if you got TikTok, it's crazy because now you're starting to get all these international talks. So you get an Ireland talk where black folks from Ireland are starting to speak out.
Yeah.
When did black, and I'm talking about with strong Irish, Gaelic accents.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about they got Russian talk where black Russians. And I ain't talking about the drink. Even though I was thinking about it, black Russians are running around here starting to say the quiet part out loud, and even the black folks in India are starting to come out. Y'all, I'm telling you, we are the only people who have been scattered from pillar to post. And I was looking at Jeremiah, I think it was Jeremiah 25, and where Jeremiah was straight up telling them, look, you know, he's gonna come and first he's gonna gather up the 10 tribes that's been wandering. Then he's gonna get Judah that was scattered, and they're gonna be like one big stick.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to understand, we have been scattered throughout the world, and so now even when the black folks are running around here saying we Native Americans, I can believe it, and I don't doubt them anymore. I used to would argue with them and say, "No, we Hebrews," and then I started understanding the y'all said don't say that no more. There was my people that got scattered from the captivity that were taken away, the 10 northern tribes.
Mm-hmm.
That was taken away by the Syrians.
Yeah.
Why you think they ain't never come back to you?
They were scattered into all nations, every nation, all over the world, the four corners of the earth. Our people were scattered.
And Yeshua's mission was to gather. Look, Yeshua's mission, man. Bruh, let me tell you, I had this revelation this morning. No, yesterday in the shower that just tripped me out, and I was like, I gotta preach it. He was like, you can't. You can't. But I got this revelation in the shower, man. If you look up the word bar in Hebrew, it's the word son, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to give you an analogy real quick. And the word son is bar,
Mm-hmm.
bet resh, right? So you have the house, and then you have the little thing that goes like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you put those words together, you kind of get like Prince or the Prince of the House.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Messiah came, the Messiah came. What does the Prince do? When the king is away, the Prince rules over. The Prince don't have all power. He has some authority,
Mm-hmm.
but he don't have all power, right?
Right. Right.
And so that's why when you hear Yeshua talking, he always says, "I'm about my Father's business. I'm out doing what my Father commanded me to do."
Mm-hmm.
Don't focus on me, focus on the Father, because the prince don't have all power. He has authority over things. He had authority over the demons in the earth realm. He had authority over health and sickness and healing. He had those authorities
Mm-hmm.
that was given to him by the Father, and he had a mission. I need you to go out here and I need you to get these jokers together and send them out so that they can teach the gospel to the people. And
Mm-hmm.
then what I'm going to do, I'm going to sacrifice you, and I'm going to let your blood be the blood of all sacrifices
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
until your return. But
Mm-hmm.
when you rise, I'm going to give you more than just authority. I'm going to now give you power.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make you just like Moses was to the Pharaoh. I'm going to make you my regent. And so now when you return again to save me from doing the work, I'm going to let you come back and whoop on them. And then when you whoop on them and they see you, they're going to have to turn back to me.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to bring heaven down
Yeah.
and make a new heaven and a new. See, I want to preach it so bad I can't. But, this is why when we look at our situations, y'all, in this realm, in what we're going through right now, we ought to get joy because prophecy is starting to fulfill itself in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
See, it's one thing when grandmama and them used to say it and we couldn't see it. Grandmama and them was seeing it. Well, we ain't there yet, baby, but we in the last days.
Yeah.
Grandmama, how you know we in the last days and you sitting up here with your moo-moo on cooking cornbread? I know, baby, but we in our last days. You can bet that one. And I'm here to tell y'all that those last days are coming. And they're moving quicker and quicker. And y'all, there ain't no need to be afraid. You just need to prepare.
Yeah.
Why are you scared why are you scared? Because when he comes back, me and Joseph always say this. This is what Nehemiah is doing right now. He's preparing. We should be preparing. He's rebuilding the wall. We need to be rebuilding the wall of protection around us and spreading this wall out to others so they can see the gospel truth
Mm-hmm.
that we are truly those who were born under the curses.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear some of these Christians say, well, I ain't under no curse. Okay, then go out there and do whatever it is you want to do and see if them cops don't put you up under servitude. You see, you can't do no more than what you under their laws. You ain't under the laws of your people.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go out there. Case in point, we have feast days over at Elishai House, and we get to playing the drums and blowing shofars, and them folks will send the police over there right away. Now we doing what the Most High told us to do,
Yeah.
but it's too loud for them.
Yeah.
See, we the people on this look. The reason why we going through what we going through right now, y'all, is because we supposed to be seen and not heard. We got the same level of authority to them as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And so they watchdogs on us, man. What they really trying to do, they trying to usher in this project 2025. And this is one thing I know for a fact I can see y'all's hand. Negroes ain't moving. This is the first time in my whole 55 years of life that I ain't seen Negroes move. And it ain't out of fear. Now, what you will do, and it's crazy to me that Negroes ain't moving, but they line dancing their tails off. Y'all understand this our people. We ain't moving, we ain't protesting, we ain't fighting. But we line dancing our butts off. Man, if I hear boots on the ground one more time, do you understand that we are shifting, and I can see the ruach moving through our people. We are shifting, and the more we're shifting, more people are waking up.
Yeah, yeah.
People are starting to see the seals are being open as we talk, and he wants to restore us back. Let's go into Nehemiah chapter 4 verse 3.
Okay,
We'll start there. I
okay,
think that's where we left off at.
okay. Nehemiah chapter 4, beginning at verse 3. How far you want me to go? Just until you.
I'll stop you.
Okay. Now Tobiah the Ammonite was by him, and he said, even that which they build, if a fox go up, he shall even break down their stone wall. Hear, O our Elohim, for we are despised, and turn their reproach upon their own head, and give them for a prey in the land of captivity,
Mm.
and cover not their iniquity. And quit praying for them for all this wickedness. Quit praying for them wicked folk. He said, cover not their iniquity, and let not their sin be blotted out from before thee, for they have provoked thee to anger before the builders.
Oof.
So built we the wall, and all the wall was joined together unto the half thereof, for the people had a mind to work.
Hold on.
Okay.
Just like I said before, we they had a mind to work. They were in one accord. They were led by the Spirit. Just like on the day of Pentecost, they was on one accord. They was all moving the same. Just like today, we all moving the same. Ain't nobody gave no order to stay in the house. We looked at that vote, and all of a sudden, as a group, it was just like nationwide is on your side. Everybody just said, we ain't going outside no more doing all this, putting our bodies on the line for all these folks. And we seeing the what really killed all these other nations is when we saw how they voted. Little Lupe and them down there in Little Havana, Florida, talking about I will vote for Donald Trump. Okay, we ain't putting our bodies out there no more. Little Jet Li and Little Chinatown and all them voting for them folks. We ain't, when ICE come, we gonna ICE at the house. If they ain't messing with us, we ain't gonna mess with them. And if they, hey, and we done got enough common sense to know if you been outside showing out, we ain't standing up for you.
No.
You one of them YNs and you want to go out there with your little stick and go out there and spray up the whole neighborhood, shoot up the club. Hey, if they come and get you, they just coming to get
Ain't got
you.
time to get caught up in no foolishness.
None. We got a greater work. We're preparing for greater things. Go ahead,
Okay. Verse 7. But it came to pass that when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabians, that's what I was looking for, and the Ammonites and the Ashdodites heard that the walls of Jerusalem were made up and that the breaches began to be stopped, they were very wroth and conspired all of them together to come and fight against Jerusalem and to hinder it. Nevertheless, we made our prayer unto our Elohim and set a watch against them day and night because of them.
hold on,
And
hold on, hold it, stay right there.
okay,
You notice the enemies are now started to circle the wagons.
yeah,
And even in this day, you done heard Stephen Miller. He ain't nobody but he ain't even one of them elected. I mean, one of them. confirmed jokers. He's over Trump's cabinet,
Yeah.
and he done sat up here and said we ain't nobody built nothing. We the builders. We built everything. Everything. Okay, Mr. Confused Man.
Yeah.
You can't even get out. Look, how you gonna build something you can't stay in the heat from 6 to 12? If you stay outside in that heat if you mess around and accidentally fall asleep and not be in the shade, I guarantee you within 6 months you're gonna have a growth.
Yeah.
How you the first people in the sun don't like you?
Mm-mm.
I mean, come on now. How you the first that don't carry no genetic code to make anything else but you?
Yeah. Yemi, what we read, we started at verse 3, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on a few things there,
Go ahead.
if I may. Listen, we're at the point now. We're coming to the point now where, okay, we want to use Nehemiah and and his example as a template. Okay, so Nehemiah wasn't praying for Tobiah and Sanballat that they could all come together and join hands. That wasn't his prayer. His prayer, he said, uh, uh, turn their reproach on their own head. This is Nehemiah praying, and give them for a prey in the land of captivity. So basically, what Nehemiah is saying, hey,
Get them. Get
turn,
them.
turn, they turn, whatever they have set up for us, the pit that they have done for us, turn around on them. And instead of them being the predator, because they're talking a good game. And they've got all the arms, they've got all the weapons, they've got all the men of war, they got all of this. And they're threatening, and they're making light, and they're making fun, they're ready to move. And Nehemiah is praying to the Father, and he's saying, give them for a prey in the land of captivity. He's praying that they're going to become the captives. Y'all catch this now. Please catch this. See, the Christianity made punks out of us. Okay? I'm just gonna say it.
Say it
Christianity,
twice.
Christianity made punks out of us. They're gonna come up, we gonna kneel down and pray and bow our head down while they crack our skull. And our children, they are doing it right now, brothers and sisters. Forgive, I'm trying to keep my voice low. The scriptures tell us they have no compassion for the elderly or the young. They're people of fierce countenance. They should be grinning and smiling. You don't see Trump smiling. You don't see Stephen Miller smiling. You don't see what's his name? The JD Vance. Every time you see them, they got this old crazy constipated look on their face, and they in charge. They're people of fierce countenance, and they have no compassion on your young or your elderly or you. And so Nehemiah is praying this prayer. He's not praying, Lord, change their hearts and turn their minds so we can join hands together and sing free at last. No, it was beyond. They got beyond that point. These people, Sanballat, Tobiah, the Arabians, and the Ashterites, and all of them, they hated the Yahudim. I can't stand that word Jews, and how that term got in the Holy Scriptures. That lets you know that they done corrupted. They done went in and did what they was gonna do, because there ain't no such thing as a Jew. Okay, but now that's another message. But Nehemiah is praying. And he's not praying to join hands with these people. He's praying, asking the Father to turn their captivity on their own head. The traps they've set for us, let them fall in them. Don't cover it. Don't forgive them. Don't cover their iniquity. And don't even blot out their sin. Don't blot out their sin. Let it stay on the record. So when you judge them, it'll be right. Won't nothing be redacted on them.
Come on now.
For
That's
they have provoked. Listen, Nehemiah. This is a prayer, y'all. This is a prayer. We need to look at this and quit praying little punk. Oh God, quit praying little punk prayers and pray like Nehemiah prayed. Nehemiah says, for they have provoked you. And let me tell you something, what the scriptures tell us, that when they mess with us, they are messing with the apple or the pupil of the Father's eye.
Come on now.
And that's what Nehemiah is saying. They have provoked, they can't mess with, they can't hurt you, they can't reach you just like Satan. They can't harm you, so they're trying to harm your people. They provoke you by provoking your people.
Mm.
And so he's praying, but at the same time he's praying, you know he ain't kneeling with his eyes closed, because he said, so we building. We praying and we building. And we got our weapons
on our hips.
On our, this ain't no, this is not 60 time. This is not pacifist hour. This is not the time. I'm preaching to myself, because that Christian conditioning got me real good. I'm 60 years old. Got me real good. But Nehemiah, I'm reading this and meditating right along with Yemi. You know, we're looking at this. We're looking at this. We're looking at how Nehemiah moved. We're looking at how Nehemiah prayed. We're looking at how Nehemiah built. We're looking at how Nehemiah prepared his people. And we said, we got to get on. We got to get on this channel right here. This is the channel we need to be on right now. That we don't advocate. And I almost hate to say this because it's just overplayed. We don't advocate violence. We advocate self-defense. We advocate you're not going to come in here and violate my wife and my children. You're not going to just come up in here and treat my people any kind of way. If you come,
bring a lunch.
Bring a lunch. And it don't matter whether you come correct, because we done prayed. We prayed and we ready. And this is where we need to be, beloved. This is where we need to be. And the Christian church and Christianity, help me, Holy Ghost. Help me, Ruach. The Christianity they have used Christianity to punk us into being nonviolent, pacifist, nobody knows the trouble I've seen, and swing low, sweet chariot. Nehemiah ain't doing, they ain't singing no old Negro spirituals. They got weapons. They're ready. You selling them whoop tickets? Come on. You come on over this wall and see. We got something for you. We done prayed. We're praying. We building. We watching, and we ready for war.
And we keeping those holidays.
And we keep them. Yeah.
And we learning this Torah.
Yeah.
We brother, it's beautiful, because what we need to see is there ain't no wrong in doing what y'all told us to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for jumping in.
No, and doing the best we can while we can't do. It's just like they're celebrating the feast days, but you got to stay on the wall, so we can't really do it the way we want to do it. We want to do it the whole week, but we got to stay on the wall. We want to be able to lay down prostrate on the ground, but we got to stay on the wall. We got to keep the tool in one hand and the weapon in the other hand while we praying and while we building and while we watching. We celebrating and we doing the best we can with what we have, while the enemy is talking that smack.
That's a fact.
And he's not gonna stop. Matter of fact, the more we build, the angrier they become. The more Nehemiah built, they hadn't even finished the wall, but they had joined it together and probably had it like maybe 3 or 4 feet high. They hadn't built the whole wall, but they repaired the breaches. They had built it up, and the enemy became very angry. The more they built, the more angry they became. And so we got to be ready for that. See, because when we come together and start building, the threats and the accusations and the misinformation, disinformation, and the aggressiveness, and that you knock this off my shoulder and cross this line, they're going to come with all that. But we have to pay attention to what Nehemiah and the Yahudim, what their posture was, what their prayer was, they were productive even in the midst of all those stress, even in the midst of all the armies, all these armies and all these people, all of their enemies coming together. They were still productive. The enemy
Yes.
can't. This is why the enemy gets so mad, y'all, because he can't stop nothing. When we get in line with Yah, the enemy can't stop nothing that we do. That's why they get so mad. And that's why they talking about that's why your president talking about war, waging war in the city. Who's in the city? Who's in the inner city? Who's in these major metropolitan areas? If y'all can't hear the man, I'm telling you what he talking about when he said we gonna wage war. He ain't talking about coming. He not talking about coming to downtown Dallas and hitting those high rises where those people live.
He coming to Oak Cliff,
He talking to Oak Cliff,
Pleasant
my God,
Grove,
Pleasant Grove,
North Dallas,
Garland, and Richardson.
South Dallas.
He going to the apartments. This is not this. Our ancestor King Solomon said it well. He said, "Was what has been done, what is being done, and what has been done, and there's nothing new under the sun." The enemy got the same playbook that he been had from our ancestors' days. So why are we shocked and surprised? Why we got this book? So why we caught off guard about what they doing and what they thinking and what their intention is?
And if you living under that strong delusion that you're gonna get a chance to vote again,
This man already got hats. Trump 2028, he already got the hats.
they already done pushed the narrative. You ain't vote no more. This midterm, if they can shut down this midterm, they gonna do it. The reason why they gotta do it because they running under the Antichrist system.
Yeah,
Look, the evangelical church has turned themselves over to Hasatan.
yeah.
And Hasatan is that blue-eyed, blonde-haired image of a 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 homosexual murderer and a incestuous man.
With no values. Everything he says is a lie.
Lie.
He's a criminal and a thug. And the prime minister of I'm not even gonna call it Israel. What can we call it? I'm gonna call it the state of Israel. That's what I'm gonna call it. The state of Israel. The Antichrist state. That's what I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, the
The prime
synagogue of
minister,
Satan. Call
the
it what it
prime minister of
is.
the Antichrist state, the synagogue of Satan, and your chief executive, they think it's thieves because they both criminals. They both war criminals. They both thieves. They both if they wasn't in office, both of them, if they weren't in office, they would both be in prison.
Aki, go to your computer and look up Biden Netanyahu's real name.
Oh yeah, he's Polish. He was born in Poland.
See, they done went so far as to change their names,
Yeah,
but they ain't the people.
yeah, he's Polish. He was born in Poland. Changed his name and let's see. I may not even be able to pronounce it. Okay, let's see here. Let's see if this. I, they may not even let you find it on the internet no more. Let's see. They let's see. let's see here. Now, let's see. Oh, it look like they're starting to scrub stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's saying where he born into. Yeah. Well, let's try this.
While you looking it up, I'm gonna just talk to him.
Okay.
They have placed themselves in a position that was not even made for them. Do you understand when they came up with those Geneva Accords or those accords after the World War II and to build a state of Israel, that it went completely against what the Bible said would happen? The Bible told us that when Israel returned back to the land, there would be no need for war. We could put Milikowski, Benjamin Milikowski.
Milikowski. Yeah. Yeah.
When
Yeah.
when Israel was to be returned back to where it's supposed to be, that they would beat out their swords and turn them into plowshares. Do you understand what a plowshare is? It's the thing that goes on the end of your plow and it allows the plow to cut through the dirt. There would be no need for war anymore. There would be peace in the land. There ain't been a day of peace since the synagogue of Satan infiltrated the land. I can't even say return. And then everybody that's around them been saying for years, them ain't the people that
Ain't the
left
people
here.
that left.
Them jokers left black as me. But they
Can
come back, but they come back white. So if everybody else know, why is it that Philip Anthony Michaels is running around here telling this lie to his flock that no, Jesus wasn't black? Shut up. I was so glad when them letter when the purple guys went out there to his church and stood out on the lawn. He was so nervous, couldn't get him to come outside.
Yeah, he won't come outside.
All they wanted to do was debate. He didn't want to come outside.
Yeah, they don't want to come outside because if they come outside, I mean, we got the book.
Your credibility is shot.
It's shot. Let's come outside. And let's go through these scriptures.
I'm gonna tell y'all, if you sitting around here in this day and you following a pork eating pastor, stop it.
Yemi.
Talk to me.
Uh, we talk about these pastors. I generally try to use their own quotes, their own words. Okay. You know, what's his name? Got the podcast, the one at Newberg. What's his name?
Um,
Jamal
yeah,
Bryant.
Jamal Bryant.
Jamal Bryant on his own podcast in his own words. These are his words I'm giving y'all. He says he was interviewing somebody, but he was talking about his brother-in-law. He said he has a brother-in-law that is a Hebrew Israelite. And the only thing he says about that brother, he said that boy, he know that book. He wouldn't say nothing else.
Couldn't.
This is Jamal Bryant out of his own mouth. I'm watching the podcast. I was actually watching the podcast. He was making reference to his brother. I forget what led to it, but this is what he said. He said, "I got a brother-in-law that's Hebrew Israelite, and that brother, he know that book, and he moved on away from it. He said he know that book.
Not
See
un-
that now. Listen, y'all. Listen. Again, I'm gonna say this again because Yemi has said it. these brothers, they know the truth. But if they speak it or they preach it, they out.
Over.
All of their affiliations, wherever they went to school, even if, I don't care, Jamal Brown went to Morehouse. If Jamal Brown would have come out and say, my brother, come on in here and give a message, Morehouse would cut him off. His denomination would cut him off. He on podcasts and TV, the advertisers would cut him off. If he got any loans out, y'all think I'm lying. But these people, if he got any loans out, the church got any loans or any type of financial obligation, them loans gonna get called. The Masons and the divine and the France and the Sorors in his church and the Eastern Star, they're gonna make him get up and apologize. They if not get rid of it
because of the brainwashing.
because of brainwashing.
And in lieu of losing their 501c3.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what they held to, that 501c3.
That's where the grant money come from. That's where the grant money come from to build all that stuff they build and to keep and to really, the grants, of course, you don't have to pay a grant back. So you get them grants and you get that money. So there's a reason why they do the outreach. The reason they do the outreach is for the grants. When they apply for the grants, they say, well, we doing this and we doing that. So when we apply for the grants, we in the community, we serve in the community. So that brings the grant money in.
That's
okay?
a fact.
And so the grant money not only allows them to keep doing what they're doing, because you can buy a truck full of turkeys and pass them out, or you can buy some coats and pass them out. But that grant money, that's about 10. That might be 5 to 10% of the grant money that you got.
And the rest of it going to buy that house.
The rest of it going to the church, to the pastor of the church. That's how these churches are in the hood. And they're the largest multi-million-dollar structures with acres and acres of parking lot, because they wanted to wipe out the black community anyway. So the best way to do that is go through the church.
Hallelujah.
Give the church the money to build a big building, rezone. I'm telling y'all what I know. Rezone the land around, the acreage around that church, turn it into parking lots. And so now what used to be a black community is gone. And they still taking your money, because you got the people that's left in the community and the Negroes from the suburbs coming in, giving their tithe money to the church, and that tithe money going to Chase Bank. The tithe money going to, what's the other bank?
Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo. Bank of America. It ain't going. Listen, these major churches, these major denominations, y'all check this out. They got credit unions. Why they ain't running the money through their credit union? They can't. Because the man downtown, you run that money through your credit union, the city fathers, they come to shut that down.
That's fact.
Y'all, I'm gonna share this story with y'all. Real quick. We gotta get back to Nehemiah, but this stuff is real. Y'all think we playing? I know. I done been in the belly of the beast. So when I was in my awakening, okay, I went to my pastor, talked to him, shared with him. I was waking, so I didn't have the full story. But I was sharing with him. What I wanted to do was, there's the community that I grew up in across the street from the mega church. Every Sunday, you got 200 You got hundreds of we out there. We've been doing it for generations. Across the street from the church on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, we over there playing ball. We over there smoking weed. We over there throwing them bones. We over there. You got the girls. They got all showing all their wares. They walking and switching and twitching, and you got some of everything going on over there. So what happened was, as I was awakening, I'm okay. We're gonna do this. I started the Hill Ministries, and we started doing the outreach on Sunday evening. And I explained to my pastor. I said, "Listen, preacher, I know," and we called him preacher. I said, "Preacher, I know they have an evangelistic team, Yemi, but their evangelistic team will go out on Saturday. Wasn't nobody out nowhere on Saturday in that neighborhood. Where they were on a Sunday evening. Okay." So when I started Hill Ministry, we were doing, and I shared with him what I was going to do, what I was doing. And, with the right hand, he blessed it. And with his right foot, what he was doing with his right foot.
Kicking you out the church.
No,
Kicking you out.
he didn't do that. But he did another type of way. But we can't get into that. But here's the thing. When he did what he did, and I saw I was getting manipulated, okay, I turned in my resignation from the church. And so when I did that, he kept asking me, was I going to start a church? And I said, the Father hadn't took me that far. I was just going to go out and minister on Sunday, and do that. Anything other than that, I ain't know. So when I turned in my resignation letter, this is what the man told me, y'all. This is a mega church pastor, church of 10,000 members, okay? Big old multi-million-dollar facility. He one of the ones got the church, got the community. It used to be called the Hill. It's all parking lot now. Parking lot in the park and a few other buildings. He told me that the city did not want another black church in the area. That's what he told me. And guess why he kept asking me I said, preacher, I ain't going that far. I'm just doing what the Father told me to do. I'm not trying to steal none of your members. That's not my target. My target is ain't nobody going out here to minister to these brothers and these little sisters and these young folks. Ain't nobody over there. And that's what he told me. He said, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it as long as I live. He said the city did not want another black church in the area. See, because it's a big racket, y'all. It's a racket. And I'm not saying out of anger. I'm not saying out of malice. I'm not saying that because I have good relationships with every good place I left. I still go back from time to time. Got a good relationship with everybody as far as, brothers and sisters. But organization, they can go straight to hell. That organization can go straight to hell. But I love the people. But that 501c3 entity can go straight to hell.
It's the biggest Ponzi scheme in the world.
Yes.
Do you understand that you give your money to these churches and to these pastors, but when you going down and out, when you about to lose your house, you can't get no money back. We'll pray for you. My light's about to get cut off. We'll pray for you.
And they use the people's y'all share this with your Christian friends. And this is the truth. I'm not gonna get on the internet and lie. I'm not gonna lie to God's people. The church uses the pledges and the donations of its members to get approved for loans and projects. Did y'all hear what I said? The church will take the pledges and the tithes and the offerings and present them before the bank, and the bank say, okay, y'all got this much coming in. You got this much has been pledged, so we're going to approve your loan based upon the contributions of the members. But when it comes time for the membership to need something, just like Yemi said,
We'll pray.
we'll pray for you. God bless you. We'll send you down to the Mission Arlington, to the Catholic Charities. We got their number. You can go down there. It's a racket. But we got off. We need to get back on to Nehemiah. And that was my fault this time. It wasn't Yemi's fault. It wasn't Yemi this time, it was me. But we need to know, y'all need to know about the racket. So you can communicate to your Christian brothers and sisters about, clean it up a little bit. You wasn't in there like I was in there, but so just clean it up a little bit and just let them know what's going on. Just like Yemi says, it is a Ponzi scheme.
They are and they are so indoctrinated that they will become your first set of adversaries. They are going to be your Sam ballots. They're going to be the ones that don't want you to come to the cookout no more. That Negro crazy. No, I'm building this wall because the Most High told me to.
Yeah.
Go one more verse.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, pray. Okay, verse 10. And wait a minute. I want to make sure I'm in the, okay, verse 10. And Judah said, the strength of the bearers of burdens is decayed. Okay, and there's much rubbish. So they're still talking at Noah. So that we are not able. No, this is Judah. This is one of the builders. He says, and the strength of the bearers of burdens is decayed, and there's much rubbish, so that we are not able to build a wall. And our adversary said, they shall not know neither see till we come in the midst of them and slay them and cause the work to cease. And so that's why we can't be trying to pray and join hands. Somebody's getting ready to take their sword and chop your head off. Bow your head to pray, kneeling and praying. They're gonna do what they're gonna chop your head off. Yours, your wife, and your children. This is what was being done in the Nehemiah's time. This is what we can expect. That's why I wrote some words down here. We gotta watch, fight, and pray. You see that here, and you read this chapter. We've been telling y'all to read the book. You read that chapter, you're gonna see Nehemiah and the Yahudim. They watched, they set a watch, they fought, or they were prepared to fight, and they prayed. This is what they're doing, and this is what we must do. This is the posture that we must have in these last and evil days.
If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Yes.
Y'all, as we get ready to close this thing down, I need y'all to understand this. We are moving into a period where the Most High is not only waking us up, but he's telling you to get ready.
Yes.
And so if you look at the first Exodus, then this will help you get ready for the second Exodus. You need bug out bags. You need a bag that you got some stuff in, a couple of days worth of clothes, some food. If you don't leave your house, because when they fully implement this Project 2025, they are going to. What's next? We're gonna stop. We got to get to a one currency. You see what I'm saying? We gotta We got to put them under martial law so they can't move.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You need to have food in your house.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have canned food in your house. Stock your pantries.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get you some bottled waters that you don't drink up, because it seems like every time over here we stock with water, it be gone. Because we like bottled water, even though we got filtered water right there in the door.
Mm-hmm.
We need to prepare an exit strategy, and that's one of the things that the leaders are going to work on this week. We need to get ourselves to a point to where we all can stay in communication with one another, even if the worst happens. Y'all, we only got one chance to get this right. So we need to prepare as if our lives depend on it, because it does. I know we're waiting on the Messiah to come back and gather us up, but we don't know what the gathering is going to be. We don't know what it's going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it. It could be a spaceship. you
We
you
don't
don't
know. We
know.
really don't know.
You don't
We
know.
really don't know.
You don't know.
Ezekiel and all of them are talking about these, talking about a wheel in the middle of a wheel and all this kind of stuff coming down. Man, we don't know. Chariots coming down. Where was chariot? What they wasn't using our language. They couldn't say a spaceship. They couldn't say a UFO.
A
They had it.
UFO?
They had terminology. So they couldn't say that. Trying to describe it in terms they were familiar with, trying to describe something that was yet to come. We gotta be ready. Because he's going to open our eyes. He's going to reveal himself to us, and whatever we see, we're going to recognize it as being him. However he comes, that his people are going to recognize who he is.
But I will tell you this: his enemies ain't. They
Nope.
gonna go to war with him, and that's how you gonna know. When they go to war with whatever it is, that's the one you need to cleave to.
Don't talk about. Don't be running up here and this last one. Don't be running talking about. Oh, I'm going to join the Marines. I'm going to join the Space Force. No, no. Do like what our people doing right now. This ain't our fight.
This ain't our fight. Stay in the house.
We finna boots on the ground. We finna cue it up again, Yemi. We gonna cue up boots on the ground one more again.
Where the fans at?
Why they banging on the door talking about let us in? But how we getting ready to cue this up. We getting ready to do the boots on the ground again. We getting ready to do the electric slide and whatever we need to do. But yes, we need to arm ourselves
You better go
with the
back over.
mindset. With the mindset again, arm ourselves with the mindset of Nehemiah. We can't stress this enough. We laugh. We try to keep it light and humorous, but this is serious business. Nehemiah and the people, they were under they were there was these people were planning genocide on the people of Yah, just straight up. If we can't, and Tobiah and Sanballat and all them, they wasn't playing. They wasn't shooting rubber bullets. They wasn't. There wasn't no Nerf arrows and super soakers. No, they wanted to wipe these people out. They wanted to wipe the people of Yah out. That spirit is in the earth. It's in the atmosphere. We wrestle not against flesh and blood,
but against principalities
and powers and wickedness
and
in high places. They got
places.
real weapons. They got real weapons with real bullets, with real drones, with real bombs. And but the spirit behind it is the spirit of iniquity, the mystery of iniquity, and we need to be ready.
That Hasatan is trying to his hardest to keep himself relevant during this time because he knows his days are numbered. He got his crew. You can tell who they are.
Yeah.
You can tell who he running with, who his homeboys and homegirls are, because they despise you. Let me tell you again. You know because they despise you.
They do.
You ain't did nothing. Look, 90% of us who are sitting here with my skin tone or a little bit lighter or darker know for a fact that we ain't did nothing to
You
these
did nothing.
folks.
Nothing.
We we work, we come home. We try to have a good time. They gotta have they fit. We go running. We can't jog. We can't walk our dogs. We can't barbecue. We can't listen to no music out in the back porch.
You
We
can't blow
can't
your
celebrate.
shofar.
Oh, I blow it. Can't blow the shofar. They gonna call the cops. We can't do nothing. The system ain't set up to help you. This is how you know. And I'm gonna tell you again: if you ain't reading first and second Esdras, you need to go over it again. You need to watch our broadcast because it strictly tells you you gonna know. Because when the Messiah come back, it's gonna be a war, and it ain't gonna be a war on us. It's gonna be a war on him. That's how you gonna know.
Yeah.
All right, let's close this out. You got anything else to say?
I do, but we got it. We still Nehemiah in us. I don't want us to get ahead of ourselves. So, but yeah, y'all, please read at least read the rest of this chapter and ask the Most High to give you understanding, and then pray for us that He would pray for Yemi and myself for your elders that He might give us. You might illuminate this word for us that we might be able to share with you what He's sharing with us. But in the meantime, if the Ruach would give you understanding,
Hallelujah.
because you got family, we got family members that need to hear this truth.
Look, I love my kids, but there ain't but a handful of them jokers. And I don't even say a handful. I ain't got none of them running over here to this truth because I done taught them that lie for so long
Yeah,
that they can't pull out of it. They can't get it out of them. And that's okay. All I can tell them is, look, follow me as I follow him. That's what I used to say when I bring people into the church. Will you follow me as I follow Christ?
yeah,
Yes. All right, you're a member of this body now. I'm gonna tell you now. Please follow me as I follow the Most High, as I try my best to walk in His ways, to observe His laws, statutes, and commandments. Because without them, we lost, children.
yes.
Family, we
Say
are.
that again. Say that again.
Please
We need to follow what?
follow His laws, statutes, and commandments. Because without them, we are lost.
Yes.
Abba Father, we thank you once again for another Shabbat. We thank you for the gathering of the saints. Yah, we ask that you would just be here with us, protect us, turn every attack against us, every wayward thought against us, against our enemies.
Yes.
Let it turn back to them, not just one fold, but a thousandfold. Protect us until you return. And while we are getting ready, show us your ways. Teach us your will
Yeah.
so that we may be better in this time. So that we can go out to your children and try to win their souls back to you. Our Father, it's not for money for us, because we take none. We ask for none. But what we do ask for is understanding that we may be a light to those who are lost. Y'all, and let someone who stumbles across this understand that it's not a sin to be misled. It's a sin to be there and stay there.
Yes.
Our Father, we ask that you would give us the mind of readiness, that we may get ready so we don't have to, that we can be ready so we don't have to get ready. Let us have our oils already in our lamps and not willing to share with others. Abba Yah, we thank you.
Thank you.
We thank you for allowing us to see another year. That now we've been forgiven, that our names are still in the Lamb Book of Life, that our sins have been blotted out. We just ask, Father God, Father, that you make us better. Because it's in my heart. I know it's in my heart, and I know it's in the hearts of those who are following you that are in this body, that we get better daily. So, Abba Father, we give all of our glory and praise to you. We thank you for this word made flesh, Yeshua HaMashiach, and the Ruach HaKodesh. And we give you the highest praise by saying hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
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 Y'all, next week we're going to be out there for Sukkot. If you can't make it, we understand. We are going to try to come on like we did last year. I hope we got a hotspot or something that can amplify our wide our broadband with, so that we can teach y'all while we're out there. We're gonna go over not Nehemiah, but we're gonna go over Genesis chapter 1 while we're out there. Because there's some things that I want to get in the mind of the group that's going to help us even with this Nehemiah stuff.
Okay.
So y'all get ready and enjoy the rest of your Shabbat, but get ready because the trumpet sound Monday at sunset. The shofar should sound as we get ready, as we go into Sukkot. And Sukkot's going to be an 8-day affair.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be at the campsite until Thursday. And we're gonna come back in, but we're gonna still try to observe what it is that we can do. And next year it's gonna be a whole 8 days. We're gonna do it right next year. We're gonna get everything set up to where we can do it right, because I want everybody to be out there. If I gotta bring a camper out there so that the folks with sleep apnea can so we can have CPAP set up everywhere. We're gonna have CPAP stations. Bring your own CPAP. We gonna try to do it right next year. If you can't sleep in a tent, we're gonna figure something out. If you're too old and can't get in the tent, I'm gonna still sleep in the tent, but I got a chair. I bought me a chair this time. I'm sleeping at that zero gravity chair. We gonna try to get it right, because I can't sleep on the ground no more. I ain't 20. But we gonna try our best to do what it is we can do. Y'all, we're thankful for you. To all families,
Yes.
to all our friends, to all the people that hear us but can't be a part. We still thankful for you. And we just want to wish you the best, that you can get closer to the Most High.
Yes.
Because this is what we are called to do.
Yes.
So until we talk again, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, family.
Talk to you later, bro.
Okay.